Welcome, everybody, to the YTWPodcast. You could do worse. I'm your host, Great Canadian Guy. With me this week is Tom Likeafox of Likeafox Productions.
Heyo!
We've got Jess Keane from port-haven.com.
Hello!
We've got Nikita of the Sergeant Curry Pants YouTube channel.
Hi!
And we'll start with Tom. How was your week, man?
Oh, my week has been good. It's been bizarre. It's been interesting and up and down and all over the place. But, you know, we're making progress every day, so we shouldn't really grumble.
So things going well on the channel?
Going on the channel. I mean, it's been a slow start to 2018. I started with my sort of resolution of 365 videos this year, and I've been sticking to that. And the growth hasn't yet started to come in, but I'm remaining hopeful.
Well, you're mixing it up a little bit this year, right? You're doing more vlogs than you did before and that sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to diversify where my views come from.
The vlogs are fantastic. I can't miss a single vlog.
I agree.
Well,
I
really appreciate that.
You keep saying you want to feel more comfortable on camera, but you seem perfectly at home. Like, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, today was the first time that I felt like 100% comfortable.
Good.
It felt completely natural. I was really happy with that, actually.
So you've been playing anything good lately?
Have I been playing anything good? They are billions. I'm obsessed with that game.
People seem to really dig that. What's the deal?
I tell you why. It's because the gaming community at the minute is obsessed with stuff that's hard.
Yeah.
Everyone is fed up of finding games too easy. It's why Dark Souls has had like this massive resurgence recently. It's why Cuphead was such a big deal because people love a challenge and they love to try the challenge themselves and they like to watch someone else try the challenge.
So what's the game about anyway?
Well, it's an RTS. You know, it's a strategy game. City or colony building, which a lot of people like anyway. But then you add in huge hordes of zombies that you have to defend against. It adds this. There's like an adrenaline rush that goes from beginning to end. Like the game is intense and stressful from the minute you start the match until the minute you lose the match, because that's what happens most of the time.
Okay, and how long are these games?
If you manage to win, you're probably looking 2 to 3 hours to get all the way through.
Okay, so you can just kind of sit down and play this in an evening. Like it's not a
absolutely. Yeah, it's a one evening thing. I mean, for me as a streamer, it would be if a full stream would be like one match probably. If I could actually flip and win the game.
Yes. No, I've played a couple of games like that on stream, and it's a nice self-contained little experience.
Right.
Cool. So, Jess, how was your week?
My week was good. It's been pretty exciting. Just today being the recording day, not the day this podcast goes up. I did the first episode. It's episode 0 of the Port Haven Streamcast, which you all were kind enough to attend. So what we're going to do is we're going to start doing kind of like a most likely every other week, but we might make it weekly if it ends up being smooth enough. Kind of like a podcast, only my partner in crime, Professor Django, and I are basically going to take a Star Wars topic that would be a little bit more long-form discussion than, say, like a 5-8 minute video. And we'll talk about it for like 20-ish minutes and then hopefully have a chat going, and then people can either ask follow-up questions to what we said or just bring up other Star Wars questions, and we can kind of interact with our viewers a little bit. And we announced that today because the episode 0 of the Streamcast was also our 100 subscribers special, which I'm very proud of.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
We're now sporting that custom URL, which is really exciting. Which would be / the Star Wars Refuge, if anyone's curious. And no, it's been all good news like all week, and we have 1 or 2 other pretty exciting things coming up that I don't want to say out loud. I don't want to jinx them, but there's some big stuff going on in Port Haven here pretty soon.
Well, an interview with George Lucas.
An interview, but not with George Lucas.
Damn
it!
He might have the free time these days.
He might have the free time. That's true. That's very true.
Just sort of like off topic a little. Do you think he's ever going to do another movie?
I don't know. He's pretty like sad and depressed these days. Like he basically.
Yeah.
because everyone hated the prequels so much, and he gave up because he felt like no one liked what he made anymore.
I mean, they didn't, but
Well, it was that, and then like
baffling to think that he made 3 of the greatest movies ever in existence, and then 3 of the worst.
Well, and the difference with that is because when he made the original trilogy, he had babysitters. And then when he made the prequel trilogy, he was all like, "Rawr, down with the studio system, I'm going to make what I want to make," and surrounded himself with yes men.
Yeah, true.
Because I still hold that there's a lot of value within the prequel trilogy. It just wasn't executed very well.
Yeah, it's a lot of like the filmmaking and the storytelling and stuff that's weak. Like they weren't. There are good aspects to it, and I remember reading a response to the Plinkett review of the episode 1, where somebody proposed like cutting a couple of scenes and just adding a couple of scenes would actually fix the whole fucking narrative.
But
like you just have to.
Let's not forget how important it was to all of us that we actually finally learned the intricacies of galactic trade. Like, we now know how we now know how it works.
And that was very important for a children's movie.
And what gets lost in that is because of how it was played up, it feels that way. But it's, to me, knowing what I know, it was actually kind of an interesting move because the whole point, the entire purpose of episode 1 was for Palpatine to create enough sympathy to get Chancellor Valorum out so that he could become Chancellor. Like, every part of the Phantom Menace, its whole existence, is the opening salvo of the Emperor's plan to take over the galaxy. But it gets lost because you have to watch the Senate debates, and people aren't as intrigued by it.
You know what makes me sad most of all about the prequel, or at least about the Phantom Menace, is that I just think Darth Maul is just one of the most amazing characters ever, and
watch the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, man.
I am watching the Clone Wars at the minute.
Yeah. Oh, they really.
To be honest, I liked live action Darth Maul. He was cool. You know, I'd like to see that again in a decent film.
Right.
All right. Anybody have anything else to add? Anything else going on?
No. Like I said, I don't necessarily want to tip my hat too soon at what's coming.
All right. So, Nikita, how was your week?
Best part.
I never know what to start with because so many weird things happen to me and I don't know which one to start with. But oh my gosh. Okay, so Saturday, I think you guys have been seeing South Africa's in the news for not the greatest things ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been destroying H&M stores and whatnot. So that happened on Saturday morning. I happened to be going to H&M at the time. And this happened in the Menlyn Park H&M. So that's like a 4-hour drive from me. So that didn't happen in my area, but they took the precautions. And I didn't understand what happened because I didn't check the news in the morning. I was just going. And I go there. I just went. Who would think that was happening in a department store? Right. So I went there and I see the sign up saying for security reasons they've closed H&M today, blah blah blah. Then I see my phone and I get messages like from people and they're like, how's your country doing? I heard you guys are like protesting.
How's your country today?
And like one of them was Bear. Bear is like, are you guys okay? I just saw your like country like breaking the store in the news. And I'm like, I show him the picture of the sign on H&M. I'm like, well, I'm right here. And I guess this is a normal day in South Africa. We just protest and break stuff. So then they get the security and they like open the stores and I took the opportunity to ask the cashiers and the staff, I'm like, okay, so will anything be sold really cheap right now after they kicked it down the mannequin?
You know,
You gotta
Important
ask.
questions.
He drop kicked a mannequin in the store, and I'm just like, you know what? If it's cheap,
Right.
I don't mind some floor clothes.
yeah, if there's a shoe mark, I can always wash it. And then, well, yesterday, if you guys don't know this, I have a crazy mom. Like, my mom's really crazy. Like, she's one of those people that loves reading horoscopes, and she'll talk to you and she'll be like, oh, you're a Scorpio. That's why you're like weird like that. Like, that's the kind of thing she's into, and I'm not. And every year she nags me to get her these horoscope books for the year, and I'm like, So, now last night, now she believes in all these things that I do not believe, like psychics and all that crap. So there's this,
good.
yeah, it's so annoying. And there's this lady now, she went on the air, she was on the radio, and she's like, I talk to the dead and blah, blah, blah. And my mom's like, oh my gosh, she gets me out of bed. She's like, you gotta call. She gives me like 5 phones, and I'm calling, and I don't even know why I'm calling. And then somehow we get through to this lady, okay? Mm-hmm. And my mom got distracted, so then I had to talk to this lady, and I don't believe in psychics. So then my mom, like, she enters halfway and she listens on the radio that's my child who sounds like a 12-year-old boy on the radio. And this woman's like, oh, you're on the air. And I'm like, oh, cool. And then, and I'm breathless because my mom panicked me, and I'm dialing numbers, and she's like, okay, so, what would you like to know? I'm like, well, you should know what I want to know. My mom, she leaves the radio, she's running to me, she's like, be nice. And I'm like, okay.
But she's a psychic, she should know what you want.
Exactly. And then my mom's writing on a pen and paper, she's like, ask her if she has a message from anyone that's died. And I'm like, do you have any messages for me from the dead? Then she's like, oh, who died? Is it from your mom's side or your dad's side? She's asking all these questions. I'm like, lady, why are you asking me this? If you talk to the dead, then you would be seeing them. And my mom is telling me, I'm like, lady, you're asking me mom's side or dad's side? Grandfather, grandmother. Obviously, now I'm telling you everything. What are you gonna tell me? And my mom's like, she's just like mortified. She's just looking at me like, do you not realize you're on the air right now? And I'm like, lady, I'm just telling you, what do you see? I'm just gonna let you decide. What do you see? Then she's like, can I at least have your name? I'm like, yeah, my name's Anonymous. There. So then the lady's like,
you gave her no quarter. That's amazing.
I was like, first of all, my mom woke me up from a nap, and I hardly sleep, so I'm grouchy. And I don't believe in psychics. So then this lady's like, okay, I see a man. I'm like, cool. That's nice. I don't really see many men. That's nice. Mom is so angry right now. Like,
I don't see many men.
I don't see many men, so that's nice.
So she's like, okay. And oh my gosh, my lovey, he's holding a soccer ball. I'm like, really? Really?
Oh yeah, a man in South Africa who plays soccer. Wow, that's narrow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, even better. I come from a family with a sedentary lifestyle, and everyone has diabetes. Nobody did.
I get it now. They sent you to medical school for the free diabetes medicine, yeah?
Yeah.
That's what they even say. My dad's like, great, I don't pay for medication anymore.
You don't make insulin. He still has to buy it from the script. Like,
well, yeah, and I'm still gonna charge him because you saw how cheap I am.
Because fuck him.
So now I decided to go full on sarcastic with this lady, right? I'm having fun with it. My mom wants to kick me. And I'm like, oh, that's wonderful. Oh, he's still playing soccer now. And then she's like, yeah. And he has this message for you. I'm like, oh, do tell. Please tell me. And she's like, he's saying your mom shouldn't worry because, she should see this homeopathic doctor for diabetes. And I'm like,
wow.
Oh, really? Oh, wonderful. Oh my goodness. Wow, my mom's diabetes. That's wow, wonderful. I never thought of this. She's like, yes, my lovey. Stress causes diabetes. I'm like, really? Oh, wow. She's
funny,
like,
I never learned that in medical school.
Right.
She's like, oh, overthinking causes diabetes. I'm like, oh man, I always say this, Ma, don't think too much. It's giving you diabetes. My mom was just, she was like, please just cut this call. I couldn't handle it. I just couldn't. And she's like, this man with a soccer ball and the most interesting eyebrows he's talking to. I'm like, oh yeah, man. I always tell my parents, all our ancestors didn't thread their eyebrows, man. Yeah, It was so bad. And then the lady was like, that's all the messages I have for you, my lovey. And I'm like, okay, thanks. That was so helpful.
Okay, so what's not clear to me is why were you calling on behalf of your mom?
Yeah.
I wasn't supposed to talk. She went to go to the bathroom thinking I wouldn't get through. And suddenly I got through. And then she comes out of the bathroom and I'm stuck talking on the air. And I'm like, I wanted to pass the phone to her, but then she started panicking because she didn't want to suddenly talk on the radio. And she didn't even tell me what she wanted to say. And I'm like, I'm talking to a quack on the radio.
Now, I like how they tried to refer you to another quack. That's my favorite.
And I'm just like, if you have to ask me questions and you call yourself a psychic, what do you really know?
Right.
How to do a cold read.
It was the fun. I think this whole week I was just pissing off my mom because this morning I pissed off even more.
Oh, I think this story I actually know.
Oh yeah, Jess knows this.
Sarge, are you familiar with Miss Cleo at all?
Who's Miss Cleo?
So Miss
apparently no.
Yeah, Miss Cleo. Yeah, there's no real reason why either of you should, other than she was kind of an internet meme later on. But in the 90s, Miss Cleo was this television psychic in the United States. And she had this super intense fake Jamaican accent, and she'd have these commercials that you would call it was 1-800 Miss Cleo or something. I don't remember what the number was, but it would just be these ads on TV, and she'd be like, "Call me now," and it would be it would just be "Oh, there's a man, and you have one man, and he's a nice man, but then there's this other man you like, don't you?" And then this woman would be on the phone, she'd be like, "Yeah," she's like, "And you're not supposed to be with this man." "Yeah." "But you slept with him, didn't you?" "Yeah." It would just be these really amazing TV ads to call Miss Cleo, and it was it was this really weird story where she got I think she got arrested for fraud, but then she died. I don't know. It was really, her whole life is a very strange story. But yeah, I just kept thinking of Miss Cleo.
That's how this lady was. It's she kind of looks for something to latch onto so she can make a story out of it.
Right.
Fox, I gotta tell you how I pissed off my mom this morning. It's the funniest.
Go on then.
I have such a nosy family. I've got them all on my WhatsApp, so they're always watching what we're doing. So I changed my picture yesterday, and it wasn't even a celebrity, it was a celebrity's brother that happened to look pretty cool. So I put his picture up because I thought he looked cool.
Yep.
Now, my whole family was quiet. They were behaving about it, right? I thought, oh, that's nice. This morning, my aunt calls, and she's like, oh, hello. And I'm like, oh, hi, how are you? How's the weather? Nice weather we're having. And she's like, you know what else is nice? That young man in your picture on And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not picking up on what she's doing yet. So I'm like, oh, that's lovely. He's such a lovely man. He's really cool too. And she's like, oh yeah, when are your uncle and I gonna meet him? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe he'll have a concert sometime. I don't know. And then she's like, oh, he's a musician. And I'm like, I'm trying to pick up why there's this disgust in her voice. Like, why is she disgusted? I'm like, yeah, he sings. Well, what else does he do? And I'm like, I don't know, sometimes he dances. And then she's like, no, but what does he really do? And then I picked it up. Then I'm like, oh, she thinks that's my boyfriend. So then I had fun with it, and then I was like, you know what, he was on a Pepsi ad the one time, so I just told her, oh, he likes to drink Pepsi. And she's like screaming. She's like, you're not telling me anything. I was like, oh, would you like to talk to Mom? And I gave Mom the phone, and my mom's like, you do. The worst.
Oh,
so family life.
Yeah. I have the distinct privilege of just getting all of the Sergeant Curry Pants life updates all the time.
Oh, man. And everything involves me trolling someone.
Yeah. It's pretty good. Except for the time you tried to send me incest cat porn.
I sent her monkeys after that to make it up.
It's true.
Were they fucking?
No.
Nah, but
okay,
it
good.
was a good
That was a good step.
Yeah, it was a good
forward.
Oh, monkeys doing it's not nice.
Oh man, yeah, it's too close to people. It's just weird.
Wow, we went right around back to that H&M story.
Yeah. Made it full circle.
All right, so for my week, not obviously never as great as Nikita's, but I did have some exciting events. I had 7 teeth cranked out of my mouth.
Woo! Tooth party.
That sucked.
Yeah.
Tooth party? Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, I mean, I'm only missing 3 functional teeth.
Did you donate them to somebody who needed a tooth transplant?
Oh, give it to your subs. Be like, my 500 subs.
Wow.
Dude,
here, have one of my rotten molars.
You get a tooth. You get a tooth. Everybody gets a tooth.
If I could have, like, a great Canadian guy tooth, I would, like, mount that crap and, like, put it up in, like, the background of all of my videos. Like, look what I have.
3 of them were fucked, I think is the medical term.
Okay.
And the other 4 were wisdom teeth. So I suppose I could have given those away, but it didn't occur to me as I was bleeding from the mouth.
John, I need some of your wisdom.
Yeah, man. Why?
Well, if you want some of my wisdom, you can tune into my streams.
Oh!
I stream 5 days a week. Yeah.
I do tune into your stream.
Haha. But yeah, had those out. And the first day was absolute fucking misery.
Yeah.
Like, just constant stream of blood taste in my mouth. And, like, I was taking some good painkillers. I have, Percocets and Aleve. And, like, I could it still hurt. It wasn't a great time. Days 2 through, like, that was on Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday were actually, like, a lot better than I was expecting. But I done fucked up because I got too big for my britches on Thursday and decided to do a stream. Because, like, I can just take some painkillers and I'll do a stream and it'll be fine. And it was, until I lost my voice. Because turns out, the swelling was stopping me from producing enough saliva.
Ouch.
So I just had no voice for, like, 3 days.
And you were the sexiest man on the internet.
Oh,
It basically sounded like this.
We would
The
just
funny
voice
thing is,
chat him for that.
I couldn't do this before the voice loss thing. I've learned a new impression. So there's that. This week has been a lot better. Been annoyed with the damn stitches in my mouth getting food stuck in them. But they're starting to get shunted out, so that's nice.
Yep.
Other than that, life's been pretty boring. The channel's been great. Streams have been popping off. I've been getting 1 through 5 subs basically every time I go online, and I had my first donations.
Oh,
Nice.
Yep. 2 $2 donations, 1 $1 donation, and a $10 donation out of nowhere.
That's great.
Nice, dude.
I know. I have a feeling he put the wrong 0 in and just didn't correct
Who
himself.
needs them YouTube ads?
Yeah.
Yeah, screw them. Well, we'll talk more about that real soon.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. But yeah, the channel's doing pretty well. I'm starting to recover. Nothing interesting ever happens to me, though. Well, if it's all the same, I think we'll move on to the news. First story. This is a big one. YouTube has changed the requirements for channel monetization.
Yeah.
So, this has been controversial to say the least. What it used to be, correct me if I'm getting any of this wrong, they changed it like last year sometime. You needed 10,000 channel views and to be in good standing to qualify for YouTube Partnership Program and start monetizing your videos. Is that right?
That was my understanding, yep.
Right. And as of February, well, I guess as of now for everyone else, as of February 20th for existing partners, if you don't have 1,000 subscriptions and an average of 4,000, is it 4,000 hours in 12 months?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then you don't qualify for the partnership program, which is a hugely bigger barrier of entry.
Yes.
And how do you guys feel about that, being content creators?
Well, my initial reaction was to be extremely upset about it.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because, excuse me, a week ago, I passed the 10,000 view mark.
Right.
So it was about 4 days ago that I actually clicked the button and sent my application to be reviewed for partnership. And then 3 days later, I got an email saying the goalposts had changed, and I did feel very cheated by that.
Right.
But there's a lot more going on behind the scenes, and there's actually a lot more to talk about on this topic to define what our opinions may end up being of this situation.
Yeah, and I don't think it's as simple as it's good or it's bad either. I think people will have legitimate gripes about this, especially if they were, if they're over like the 1,000 subscriber threshold, but can't get to that 4,000 minutes thing, and maybe they were making more than a few cents off of their videos.
Right.
But at the same time, this does, I think, protect YouTube from some of the controversy they've been dealing with. And it allows them to add, and this ties into this, they recently, as Tom actually told me earlier today, hired like 10,000 new people to start overseeing all partnered uploads. So having fewer partners makes it easier for them.
No, just to clarify that, it's not all partnered uploads. That is specifically for the preferred partner program.
Oh.
So what PewDiePie and Logan Paul have been kicked out of, they get like the ultra high CPMs with the really, really lucrative ads on their videos.
Mm-hmm.
That is what are going to be
I
very
that.
closely manually monitored all the time. The rest of the partners will still be monitored by the YouTube algorithm and the bots and stuff.
Gotcha.
I mean, we give the bot a hard time, but it's going to take a while for it to get good.
From my end of things, like I understand all the like logical things that people have said, where a channel that just hit 10,000 lifetime views wasn't really going to be making any kind of money, even because you had to make X amount before you even got a check, right?
Yeah, you have to make $100
before you see any of it. So like I understand that right now this does not necessarily profoundly affect me, but like I literally just hit 100 subs, and I was on track to by like April-ish hit 10,000 lifetime views, and it just kind of deflated energy that I felt like I was getting. Not that it really stops or stunts my channel growth, but it's just it's almost like there's it's almost as superficial as it's like there used to be a Steam achievement,
right.
and now I won't get the Steam achievement, right? Like now it's like I don't get the badge for getting 10,000 lifetime views. I can still be aware of it, and I can still be proud of it, but it's like I don't get validated by somebody who's not me. Yeah, and I guess that's what's hitting me, but I'm also aware that that's an incredibly emotional response. It's not really based on anything.
No, you go, John. I keep interrupting you. You see, like, this is a topic that I can say a lot on, and it might not all be right, and a lot of it is opinion, but I've spent a lot of time purely out of interest researching the way YouTube works and the algorithm and how to, take advantage of loopholes in it and that kind of thing. And I think, like, for me, the biggest thing to lose out on in this partnership situation is the fact that there is evidence of the algorithm promoting partner channels.
Right.
You will do better in search and suggested as a partner. And that makes sense because YouTube will promote what makes them money.
Right.
So you can't hate on them for that. They have a business to run.
Right.
They provide flipping servers for all of us to upload billions of hours of content to every year.
Right.
So you can't give them a hard time for that. But I was excited because 2018 is like my year of growth. This is like, I'm going to just focus. I hit the 10K within the first couple of weeks of the year, and I was like, yes, the whole of 18, I'll get like algorithm love.
Right.
And then they just snatched it out of my hands. And, we will still get to the partnership level if we keep grinding. But the grind just got way harder.
I think it's unrealistic to remove the emotional impact of this and say, oh, well, you're just being emotional. That's not rational. Because a big flaw people seem to have is that feelings can't be rational when they super can. Being angry at injustice is a rational response. And the psychological impact of, I'm going to say, moving the goalpost on somebody who is just about to score is deflating as all hell. And for channels like Jess, that were really getting there and just about to get it, and even if they weren't going to make a dime, they wanted that accomplishment, for YouTube to just be like, no, you don't get it. Like, that hurts, and that could cause a lot of good content creators to just give up on the platform.
Yeah, sure. There's a couple of ways that this will affect established but small channels, in that you have channels who are very close to their first $100.
Yes.
Who may now have to wait months or even years to get that $100. Because they've now lost all their revenue. And that really sucks for those people. I mean, I saw Boogie2988 saying in his video he thinks that YouTube, if there should be like a threshold. So if you had like $90 or something, then YouTube should just pay out.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yes, they should have compensated for this, because these people worked hard.
Yeah.
Threshold. I think YouTube should have to pay out. Like they can't just sit on money you earned.
I mean, these are people who are potentially thinking of like putting their energy into YouTube time because they were starting to get somewhere. Right. And they were probably almost or even hit the $100, and then now, okay, no money for you.
Yeah.
Just because they have a new rule. They should compensate for those people at least.
Yeah. And then there's all the people who their channels are growing steadily who will now lose sort of promotion from the algorithm. So there's going to be a lot of channels suddenly see huge drops in views.
I guess, like, and this isn't saying that it isn't happening. I've been talking to another Wolfpack member, Snallspat, about this. Is there any actual empirical evidence that not being partnered affects your algorithm performance? And where's it from? I couldn't find anything.
There was a very long, detailed video I watched of a guy who did a deep dive into the algorithm. I'll have to dig it out. This was a few months ago that I read. But I mean, to be fair, the evidence of that is always anecdotal.
Exactly, and that's
we are not allowed to
for
see
my
the
mind.
algorithm,
That's sort of not that it makes it incorrect, but I feel uncomfortable stating it as though it's fact.
Sure. what I will quote from that video is that the guy who ran it worked for a company, and it was like a company that actually did the research, not just an individual. And they searched, I think they did testing on like 80,000 videos in their sample to like see what was going on, you know. But I mean, I'm fairly convinced, and I mean, to be fair, it is just logical.
Mm-hmm.
I don't doubt that they're doing it. I would like to see the evidence before I'm willing to say they are doing it. That's all. What about you, Nikita? You're like, I don't mean to dump on you. You're a new channel. Like, how does this affect you in any way, or your like opinions going forward?
I mean, I feel like I've been holding off comments because I do it so casually. It's like a hobby, but I feel for the people who are doing it more seriously, because I see you guys working hard and I see you guys reaching these goals, and I just think it's really unfair that they don't compensate for the creators who are being monetized before. That's just not fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that brings me back to something Tom was saying, and I hadn't even considered this. If all of the money that AdSense was building up towards that $100 payout is just going to be held in escrow, like, how much money is YouTube going to save that way?
And there was another YouTuber saying, he's a big YouTuber, but I don't even know his name or whatever, but because I only watch you guys, but he was saying, oh, he's been in our shoes. Why don't you guys try making t-shirts? Like, these are people working hard to achieve their goals.
I can't afford to make a t-shirt. Jesus.
Right.
Exactly. And now, if your channel's not getting enough views even more after this, who's gonna buy a t-shirt that says Sergeant Curry Pants with now like 5 views per video? Like, no one.
It is an interesting thing to think about, though, because that is actually something that Boogie298 said in his video.
Oh, it's that guy, I think.
Is it? Yeah, the guy who actually looks somewhat like me.
Yeah, you guys have a lot. Yeah, you guys look a little like
big, fat, and beardy.
Yeah.
But you know, people, those channels who were grinding to their first $100, it's taken them a long time. You know, it's not like it's income. It's like they were cruising towards like a bonus.
Yeah,
right.
So, and that sucks because $100, any one of us could use $100 to make our channels better in some way.
God, yes.
So Boogie said, well, don't look at t-shirts as going to make you income, but you actually might make a few bucks to put towards your channel.
Sure.
You know, like, for instance, Teespring, companies like that, you don't have to pay to make the t-shirt. You design it. There are companies there that you design and just they host it on their website, and if any sell, you get a percentage.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same. Like I am, I am in YouTube because I want it to be my job at some point. You know, that's the whole reason I started it. I didn't start this as a hobby. I started it with a career in mind eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And as such, even though I'm a tiny channel right now, I already try and diversify my revenue. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a week ago, I signed up for the Humble Bundle affiliate program, which anyone can do. There's no eligibility requirements. And I've made like $25 already.
Okay, cool.
You know, in a week. And as time goes on and they release better and different bundles, different people will buy something. You know, somebody bought a manga bundle. They're doing a manga bundle of Attack of the Titans at the minute. And I got like $3 of revenue from someone purchasing that bundle through my link. Well, in a few months' time, when that's got to $100 and I get a payout, well, that's $100 that's going to go towards my channel, and that's awesome.
Right.
Because $100 in YouTube views is immense. Like you need so many views to make $100.
Yeah, like 60 to 100,000, depending on how much you're getting from the.
Yeah.
I have nothing to add. That's just good advice. So the next big story. Twitch has announced a deal with Disney to bring major content creators exclusively to Twitch, including Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, and Strawberry17. So these are pretty big YouTube names that Twitch just like yoinked right off of their platform.
This is a big deal, and like don't misunderstand. I'm 99% sure from what I've read they will still be allowed to post content to YouTube, but they will be doing exclusive content for Twitch.
Okay.
Both live streams and uploads.
That's still very important.
Yeah, well, I mean, Jacksepticeye has, 17 million subscribers or something?
Yeah.
And they will watch everything that he does.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So if he uploads to Twitch, they'll be there. And that is a huge amount of viewership that Twitch has bought there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's a good job taking advantage of YouTube's recent stumbles.
Mm.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's my first thought, is just that YouTube announces this thing that might ultimately be good, but people are going to have a negative first reaction to, and then Twitch is like, hey, look, here's the thing.
Mm. See, here's the great thing. Twitch actually works out to be much more advertiser-friendly than YouTube anyway.
Yeah.
Because what happens is, people are streaming stuff, and then something happens which an advertiser might not be happy about. But after the stream is finished, the VOD just gets muted anyway.
Yeah.
So, Twitch, I think Twitch controversies probably disappear faster than YouTube controversies.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, how does that affect, because I know you can do non-live content on Twitch.
Yeah.
Just not a lot of people take advantage of it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that would have the same problem with, like, a Logan Paul situation where somebody would upload something.
I do not know.
Can't mute a dead body.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't know if the uploaded content, the non-live content on Twitch is, like, monetized anyway.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I don't know enough about it. Like you, Jess, I tried uploading once to it while it was in its beta stages, and it didn't work, and then I never went back.
Yeah, it was just too complicated to figure out what was going on. It was like they had to be so different from YouTube because reasons, and then I was like, I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah. But this is a huge deal. I mean, we're talking there are 4 YouTubers at the minute. The other is I think called Luzu something, but she's a primarily Spanish streamer YouTuber, so I don't really know anything about her channel.
Mm-hmm.
But they are all part of the Maker Studios network, which was just the number one network for just forever.
Right.
So for YouTube to lose that, or at least to now have to share that, is a huge deal. Twitch is really bringing out the big guns to stake its claim for online content.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I'm glad somebody's stepping up to sort of fill that void.
Yeah.
And I can only hope that this competition makes YouTube suck less.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, actually having competition might make them get their act together.
Actually an interesting little sort of extra piece of news which ties in with both this and the previous topic that we've been discussing, which is, of course, the Facebook Creators Program now.
What?
Yeah, so it was rumored, and I know of some big YouTubers who were actually approached about it months ago, that Facebook is basically trying to do a video platform like YouTube. And interestingly, a week after this huge, or in the week after this huge YouTube upheaval, I actually saw an advert on Facebook yesterday for the first time advertising that. So I think Facebook may have rushed this out to jump on the fact that YouTube is once again in the toilet.
Gotcha.
Huh.
Nice.
Okay. Well, more competition's good.
Yeah.
I even saw an Amazon tube. I didn't even know Amazon.
Yeah, I did see that, actually.
That's another rumor, or another, rumor. I don't think it's the right word, but.
Well, we don't even know what its name is going to be yet.
No. I mean, it's literally, all it is somebody knows that they filed patents with the names Amazon Tube and something else.
Orange Tube or something like that.
Yeah. And they're like, well, why would they do that if they weren't going to do, online video posting?
Well,
I mean, you file a patent just so you have the option, right?
Well, and also to protect yourself, so no one can make Amazon Tube, and then everyone's like, "Oh, this must be Amazon," when it isn't, and you ride the coattails.
Yeah, It's like that guy who, like, way back in the 90s or whenever the internet first came out, bought like 1,000 of the most like generic URLs.
Right.
And like, I know the big one was the fact he bought sex.com.
Yep.
Along with a load of others, and then he basically just spent the next 20 years making a fortune selling them off as and when people wanted them.
Right.
Yeah.
That's genius.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good entrepreneurship. That's
that was the guy who saw a trend and jumped on it.
Yeah, so like this is very good for Twitch. Anybody have anything else they want to add to it?
I think it's just very good for online content creation in general.
It is, yes.
Yeah, like you say, the marketplace needs competition, and we might be starting to see it now.
So continuing with Twitch making big moves, esports is growing at an incredible pace recently, and Twitch just signed a 2-year broadcast deal with Overwatch worth over $90 million.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow.
A lot of money.
Yep, for video games.
Yeah.
What a world we live in.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's baffling.
Hear that, Mom? Video games make money.
Yeah. Suck it, Dad.
I mean, this is the amazing thing. Overwatch, especially, is just like a behemoth of money-making potential.
Yeah.
It's unreal. I mean, the fact that buying into Overwatch as a franchise is going to cost you, close to $20 million.
Right.
To field your own esports team is just like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's approaching like non-mainstream professional sports now.
Yeah.
Like American soccer.
Yeah, I mean, in 5 years' time, esports professionals will be making more than, American footballers and basketball players.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be interesting to see.
I mean, Overwatch, in their inaugural, league matches that were broadcast on Twitch, 400,000 viewers.
Wow.
And people were like, oh, this isn't going to really go anywhere. They won't be able to maintain the kind of viewership to justify, like, a 20 million buy-in tag, price tag. And then on their, first day, it was, 400,000 viewers over all platforms. It's just like, wow.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, this is great for esports, which is great for people who are good at video games, want to be able to leverage them into, a career or, a scholarship, because that's becoming a thing, too.
Right.
Mm.
So our next story. For the second year in a row, gaming fundraiser AGDQ, Awesome Games Done Quick, raised over $2.2 million for charity. So, for those who don't know, AGDQ does speed runs, just like a week of speed running. Various games, good and bad, with audience participation in exchange for donations.
Right.
And this kind of fundraising is bigger than almost any I've heard of recently. $2.2 million for a week of fundraising.
Right. Is a lot. Unless you're a super celebrity or something, you don't make, you don't get numbers like that.
Exactly. Do any of you have any experiences or opinions on speedrunning or on AGDQ?
I find it so entertaining.
That is so good, man. Some of it even went to Prevent Cancer Foundation. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's an amazing organization, and the way they organize it and run it is just fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is entertaining to watch. If you enjoy video games, they play so many different games.
Yeah.
It's just, and so many of the guys who are actually doing the speedruns are also interesting and good at explaining what they're doing. I mean, I could watch every single game that they play.
Yeah, definitely.
Whoever played Crash Bandicoot, they deserve a Nobel Peace Prize. Driving it,
I'm pretty sure they run Crash every year.
Oh man.
My favorites are the games from my childhood where I on the Genesis and stuff, like the Sega, the Sonics and those kind of games. Although I do like the speedruns of games like Skyrim where they figured out the exact points on the map where you can run through walls and
right, yeah, and they're jumping up a mountainside on a horse.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
They know, and there's that Skyrim glitch, isn't there, where if you hold a bowl and run at a wall and let go of it exactly the right time or something, you can glitch through the wall.
That's amazing.
It's just like these. It's just it's funny. It's so funny.
And an interesting thing I've been seeing this sort of argument about like people being very negative about these glitches existing in games, and then developers online opening up and saying, "No, we see them, but we leave them there because of speedrunners."
Yeah.
Like no one's going to encounter that. No one will ever figure that out unless they're trying to.
Yeah.
Right.
So they just leave it in because the average user is never going to run at a wall with the item and then go through it.
Yeah. I watched the speedrun of the original the original Sonic on the Genesis.
Oh yeah.
And it's like the very first level, Green Hill Zone Act 1. You literally, there's a glitch where you just run forward a few steps, and if you crouch in exactly the right place, you just glitch to the end of the level.
That's great. Gotta go fast, man. Gotta go fast. So our next story, Dark Souls Remastered was announced, and it's even coming to the Switch.
Ooh.
So Dark Souls Remastered is something people have been clamoring for a long time, because there's a huge gulf in the quality between the engines DS1 and then DS2 and 3 ran on. And this is going to be made with the DS3 engine, and I find that really interesting because it has a lot of different systems that weren't used in DS1, and I'll be fascinated to see how they implement DS1's gameplay and whether they try to update some of it to include like the agility stat for rolling invincibility frames and stuff like that. And it coming out on the Switch is really cool. Switch has been getting a lot of like interesting ports that I think is making it a more, I guess, overall valuable system to pick up if you don't have a console.
Switch is going to be the first console I've owned in like 15 years.
Yeah, if I get a console, it might still be the PS4 for its exclusives, but if it wasn't for those, it would be the Switch.
Well, and I remember this was a debate when the Switch was first coming out, where so many people really liked it as a platform. It just didn't launch with enough games for a lot of people to make it seem worth it. But it is getting a lot. I mean, we talked about last podcast how Stardew Valley is on the Switch. Is still yet to come. I don't have it, a Switch, so I don't know if it's there.
It is on the Switch.
It is on the Switch now. Okay, and it's just kind of interesting what it's getting a lot of the kind of trendy games now.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of getting good on the run myself. Yeah, Dark Souls, you get good, and the Switch is partly a portable console, so you can move around or on the run while getting good.
I understood.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess in this story for me, the fact that a game like Dark Souls is on the Switch is the interesting part. I mean, I haven't played Dark Souls and I will never play Dark Souls. It's just not my kind of game. But stuff like that getting onto the Switch is really awesome.
Yeah, it's a little dark for Nintendo.
Yeah, I think that's what I like about it. Nintendo's trying to grow up.
Right.
Yeah, well, I mean, their fans, their fans have grown up, and I think it took a while for them to sort of adjust to that. Because they've still been trying to market to kids, but what kids want aren't necessarily what their fans have wanted for so long. We're now adults.
No, instead, it's like we need that dark and gritty Christopher Nolan reboot of Mario.
Oh yeah. Can you make the Super Mario movie in like a Christopher Nolan style, or hell, just put Christopher Nolan at the helm?
That just sounds amazing.
So good.
I mean, to be fair, we do deserve an actual good quality Super Mario movie, don't we?
Yes, we do.
This one I found really interesting. Epic Games' smash hit Fortnite, which a lot of us have played, may actually be so successful that it's harming Epic's other properties.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Makes total sense.
It does. It's got something like 40 million players right now, which is just a fuck-off huge number.
Right.
And other games under Epic's umbrella, the devs have been complaining that they're not getting the resources they need to continue their games, and that all the money and effort is going into Fortnite, because obviously.
Right.
So
a lot of the Paragon stuff too switched to working on Fortnite.
Yeah, Paragon was one of the ones mentioned that they just kind of got squashed.
Aww.
Yeah, but even Unreal Tournament now.
Yeah, Unreal Tournament.
Yeah.
Which is like their next game, the next Unreal Tournament was so anticipated, but actually half the team is now working on Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't blame a company for following the money.
No,
not at all.
I mean, how much do you think they're making selling V-Bucks for those skins?
I can't fathom.
It must be mental amounts of money.
Well, my only thing is, like, how much longevity will Fortnite have? Are they putting too many eggs in this basket?
That's tough to say.
Yeah. That's what I am at too, because I don't know if they are or not.
The Battle Royale scene is massive right now.
Yes.
But it will burn out if it's not refreshed.
Yeah, agreed.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting, actually, because talking about Battle Royales, there's the Paladins version of Battle Royale coming out.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Which of course makes there's obviously some huge differences between that and any other Battle Royale, which is, first of all, everyone starts with a weapon.
Yes, that's quite different.
Because your champion has a weapon already built into their build.
Right.
And therefore, instead of looting weapons, you actually loot cards, which increase your abilities.
Okay.
Throughout the match, you know. Secondly, of course, it is a champion game, a hero-based game. So you'll have squads of different types of characters. You'll actually have healing characters and tank characters and DPS characters, rather than just everyone being an identical avatar with different guns.
Yeah, that is going to be an interesting experiment.
So I guess the reason I digressed onto that is that will keep the Battle Royale scene alive a bit longer.
Yeah, definitely. And I was going to say, it might not take all that much from, like, update to update to keep it feeling fresh, because I remember I got tired of PUBG after a little while, but as soon as the desert map came up, I got right back into it.
Yeah.
It just felt so much better, because it was a new map with new things to do and new locations to explore, and then they brought in new gameplay mechanics, like jumping through windows and climbing things. And
yeah. And Fortnite are doing a great job with that as well.
Yeah, they are. I feel like, I mean, even the 50 versus 50 thing they did briefly was really fun for a little while.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's talk about the ways that they've tried to keep it fresh. They've added 50v50.
Mm-hmm.
They had the rockets and explosives only.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, that was the thing.
They had No, you go on, John.
I was going to say, I like that you could ride the rockets in that mode. That was the best, dumbest thing.
Oh, yeah.
They had the silencers only mode, so you could only use silenced weapons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then you look at what they've added into the game, which is they've added stuff to make the game completely different. I mean, just for pure poops and giggles, they've added in the boogie bomb.
Oh, that pissed me off. I didn't know it existed until it was used on me, and I'm like, why the frick am I dancing? Like, I'm so angry.
My good buddy Tiora did it to me on his own team last night.
Yes! Get wrecked.
I mean, that's awesome. And then they've added, like, the campfire, so you can now place a campfire down and get, like, healing over time by standing near it.
Oh, that's cool. I haven't seen that yet. I haven't played it since the last update.
And then, of course, the update today dropped, which has the new map location. So
right.
there's a city now.
Yeah. Yep.
And, you know, every week we're getting stuff to make that game fresh and interesting and keep us going back.
Right.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great business. Great business from my point of view.
Yeah, definitely. Still kind of sucks for the other games.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, Paragon was fun, but it had such a small following.
Yeah, and that's what I understood, is it had a following kind of like Warframe, where it's like not gigantic, but very dedicated.
Yes, yeah.
All right. So, in news and dumb trends, Guardians of the Galaxy's success has led to a trendy revival of cassette tapes.
Because people are dumb.
Yeah, I sure love scratchy music that I can't really hear well.
That's the thing. It's not a good medium. It was never a good medium.
No, it was cheap. That's why it was popular.
Oh, hey, I don't miss cassette tapes one bit.
Of cassettes with you if you wanted to change this, like, set a box to like look through and put a new cassette in the tape deck.
Yeah. You remember turning over your cassette to keep
the
album?
Unless you were fancy and you had the one that did it automatically.
Oh, yeah. I had that in a car once. That was great. It also had like this rudimentary fast forward and rewind where it just looks for silence.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So annoying.
This is like, it's not a huge story. I just love that dumb hipsters are all like listening to cassettes now.
Yeah, it's stupid because like I understand how vinyl got its resurgence because vinyl is
sounds really
I
good.
was
Vinyl
just
sounds
gonna
better.
say
It's
the same
best
thing.
sounding audio,
Yeah.
I
Yes.
was
You know?
gonna say the same thing.
but cassette tapes is just like what?
Yeah, I know.
The lesson from this story is hipsters are dumb.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love you, Portland.
Exactly. Certain technologies died out for a reason.
All right, so our last story. This one's just so dumb.
I don't even understand it. I'm looking at it in
Yeah.
the run sheet.
Yeah,
I don't know
right.
what it means.
That's why I worded it that way. A Canadian has built and is now selling the world's fastest log.
Is this you, John? You can tell us.
It's not me.
Look, it's
No,
basically a Flintstones car, isn't it?
It is kind of. It's a log car. It's
Alright.
got wheels, but it's basically a carved out log for someone to sit in, and it drives, and it's the fastest one ever made, and he's auctioning it, and that's ridiculous.
When you say fastest, how fast
Yep.
does it go?
Well, let's pull up the story and have a look.
Were there other log cars to pair it by? Is this a thing?
76 kilometers per hour.
Wow.
What is that in things I understand?
Oh, you guys are the non-metric people.
Yes.
No, I'm not. I'm just reading it off an article.
Oh, okay.
Like, I would rather... I mean, that's just over 50 miles an hour.
Okay.
I think it's just
I mean,
under
that's
50.
Just
pretty
under
fast
50,
for a
sorry.
log.
Just under.
It's,
Yeah.
still, it's pretty fast for a log.
That's a fast log, yeah.
That's a
Yeah, here's-
respectable.
We're-
I'm
I mean,
going to
I
be
don't
honest
know
here.
if it had other log cars to pair it.
Right. Can we have a race? Can we have a log car race?
it looks like it was designed to be like a dragster log.
I mean, I think it looks pretty rad, to be honest.
Oh, sure.
I think it looks cool. If I was a collector, I'd want that in my garage.
Garage.
My
Oh, apparently it's all
my
electric, too.
Garage.
A la-di-da with your garage.
No, I would say
We
garage.
also say garage.
I was saying garage for the benefit of posh people.
I'm American, so I mumble and it's just garage. There's no, it's like
Garage.
one syllable. Garage. There's so many words I can't spell because I say them the American way, which does not use all the letters that are in the word. So, like, I'll go to garage and I'll be like, G-R-A. Wait, why is this wrong? Like,
Yeah, I put my car in the garage.
Great.
Apparently, the owner of this car is hoping to receive 6 or 7 figures.
Ooh.
Yep.
I'm hoping to receive that many figures.
Yeah, from our YouTube monetization.
Right, exactly.
At the rate YouTube's paying us, we might as well drive logs.
Nice.
John, that might be your title.
Yeah? So yeah,
Oh.
somebody in BC built a log that goes really fast, and that's so dumb, and I love it.
It's great. It's so good.
It's so Canadian.
It's very
Yeah,
Canadian.
it really is.
Woof.
It's like the most eco-friendly car because it is the eco.
It is the ecosystem. Yeah, you're just driving the ecosystem, and it is an electric car.
There you go.
I mean, doesn't matter that we have to take down a tree to make it.
Right.
Oh, good for us.
But that's one tree versus how many you would damage by producing a car.
Oh, that's true.
I mean,
I see 2 log cars here, so I don't know which one's the right one.
Look, can we just, while we're talking eco-friendly here, let's just dwell on the fact for a minute that your pet dogs are less eco-friendly than cars.
I mean,
They do more damage to the environment.
so much poo methane.
Oh, man.
I think dromedaries are the worst contributors of methane gas.
I know cows do a lot.
Well, yeah, our mass production of cows is bad, but I think on the whole, camels and other dromedaries are like the worst.
They smell pretty bad, so
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I could
Was
see
it Australia had to cull a bunch of them
that's
or something because
kind of
it was
odd.
getting out of hand?
These camels are getting out of hand.
Yeah, there's too many llamas.
I never thought
I
I'd
need
ever
to talk
hear
about
that
our
sentence.
camel problem.
I never thought I'd hear that sentence in my entire life.
I love when that happens. You hear a combination of words in a certain order, and you never expected that to occur.
Like, stop sending me incestual cat porn. That was